back in the day, we used to sugarcoat a lot of things and we used to call it giving it some fluff. We fluffed a lot of it, beating around the bush. Why?
That is
Because we were
definitely a
afraid of
phrase.
how most people was going to react to when we tell them straightforward. A lot of people couldn't handle it coming out straightforward. So
Nope.
we sugarcoated it. And you know what
Yep.
happens when you sugarcoat something? It takes away the actual meaning of what you're trying to say. Yo, 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 Jordan. I hope you like my cowboy hat.
Oh, my guy. Yippee ki I guess, huh?
No, that's Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
Oh. All
Maybe
right, well,
yeehaw.
okay. Well, hi.
Hey, but let me tell you something.
Tell me something, brother.
I know you are kind of a PC kind of individual, and I'm more rough around the edges. I'm like a uncut
Yo.
diamond per se. This past weekend, let me tell you.
Uh-oh.
Now, my fat ass was in the Wendy's line. I know I ain't supposed to be at Wendy's, but you know, I was at Wendy's.
What are you doing there?
And so, huh?
What are you doing there? You get a
Yeah,
frosty?
I got me that $5 biggie bag.
Biggie bag.
Yeah, I got a
little jingle.
$5 biggie bag with a junior bacon cheeseburger and some
I'm about to
spicy
go
and some
after this.
spicy nuggets. But while I was waiting inside the lobby line,
Uh-huh.
this individual that was standing in front of me was texting, and the line moved up, and it was their time to go to the cash register. So
Okay.
I tapped on their shoulder and said, "Excuse me, sir, can you move? They waiting for you. Can you move on?"
Yeah.
They turned around and looked at me. I am not a man. I am a female.
Oh. Wasn't expecting that. Now I'm interested. I'll try to fix my watch, but sheesh. What's going on?
So I had to, take the cowboy hat and say, "Sorry, I think, ma'am." But either way, the person behind me was like, "Wow, you're so insensitive." I'm like, "I'm sorry, insensitive to what? Did you even ask what their pronouns were?" No. I speak English. The pronouns is what I see. But it ain't gonna be that kind of show today. But the point I'm making, I'm not going down that. That's to be continued. But my point is, and the question of the day, it ain't coming from Reddit. It ain't coming from the internet. This is really my personal feeling. I got a two-take on it, but what it is, it's why everybody is so goddamn overly emotional.
I don't know.
They like emotionally fragile. You say something, they up in arms. They need pitchforks. They need all of the other stuff, and they ready to, call the Klan. No, well, they're not trying to call the Klan, but they
what kind of show is this, bro?
But they trying, literally, what I'm trying to figure out is, Jordan, tell me, why is everybody so emotionally fragile?
I'm kind of scared to answer now after the way you started the show.
I don't know what you mean. Go ahead and answer.
I guess pretty. Hey, you do. You look like a cowboy. Well, everyone, welcome to 2 Shades of Black. It's your boy Jordan. It's my man X, his crazy self. And
I'm having an identity crisis. I'm having an identity crisis.
Know who he is.
Nah.
All right, so I'm not really sure what's going on with Broke Black. I mean, X with the hat.
Broke Black. Oh, I like that. I like that. Coming from a fake ass kid in play.
Because my hair, Hey, right.
Yeah, a little bit about your hair, but you fell short like always. Either way, so
well, okay.
Jordan, you ain't. I'm trying to get some life advice here. Why is everybody so emotionally fragile?
Well, obviously, you and I are not, because if you and I were emotionally fragile, what just happened, just transpired right now, we probably one of us would hang up off the show. And for me, I think, man, it's just this generation and the people that we're dealing with nowadays have become too open to express themselves in a manner where they kind of like seek attention. I think a lot of times, like, we'll see people go online and talk about how shitty their day was. It's like before you didn't
Does
have
that
that,
mean
so
they
we
don't
kind of.
have friends?
I think what it means is that we are more so in a world where we seek attention instead of help. And
Mm.
I think that when we have that, we'll rather write something on a post to get about 200 something likes just because we want that attention compared to actually fixing the root of the problem. We could be talking about something so deep. We kind of miss that. And when someone doesn't actually, when that post doesn't hit, or when any of these things aren't really like getting the acknowledgement that you want, now you're kind of like, crap, now I got to actually deal with this. Well, now people don't really know how to deal with the problems that they're dealing with. So we don't allow, and we touched on this in one of our earlier episodes, is bullying. A lot
We
of
need
people
it.
don't. A lot of people don't know how to handle adversity. A lot of people don't know how to handle when it rains it pours. Like, anybody want to listen to old school songs? Can you stand the rain, man? That's a classic jam. A lot of people
Can
can't.
you
They can't weather
stand the
stand the
rain?
rain.
Hey,
Yeah,
two
that's
step.
a bop. Sorry, I wasn't no we were going that way. But regardless, I think that it is more so common for people to run for attention than they are to actually try to help and have someone to talk to. And sometimes I know this from not my personal experience, but I know from friends and significant others where people want to run to someone and confide to them, and a lot of people now use that as a weapon. I think a lot of people are just afraid and they don't know how to control these things. So anytime someone says something to them, people are just easily triggered because they don't have nowhere to kind of like defend themselves other than what they have online. And
Cook it,
hey, I'm
cook
trying to
it,
cook
cook
like
it,
you.
cook it,
I'm
cook
trying to cook like you, man. And
it.
that's just what it is. And I think once we figure that out and give more outlets outside of social media, we can do a lot better. But that's what I think. What about you?
Oh, you don't let the bull out into the ring. I'm
Uh-oh.
ready.
Yeehaw.
You know what I think it is?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
I think everybody has their emotions, their empathy all wrapped up in selfishness, and they don't know how to balance it all. Here's the thing.
I like that.
We go through an era in which we was all pretty much selfish. We cared about our own. We cared about basically our next come up. But now
Mhm.
that we have everybody in the internet wanting to put out their opinions or call
Yep.
Uncle Sam, I mean, not Uncle Sam, but call Uncle when somebody's getting picked on, or we're going to categorize ourselves in this category because we're not getting the respect that we deserve. So now I'm going to go out with my pitchforks, my riot gear, and everything else, screaming
Right
at the
here.
top of my lungs on the mountaintop saying, we need to be respected. Yeah, I'm talking about you, group. I ain't going to label you, but I'm talking about you, group. But what I'm saying is this.
No. Don't
What
do
I'm
it.
saying is this. We need a lot more selfishness. This whole empathy thing has now skewed so far across that people who don't even believe in this, in the message of these people screaming at the mountaintop, is over here saying, and I've been guilty of it. I've been put in situations where it was like, all right, lose my job or be feel empathy for an individual I don't give two goddams about.
Really?
Look, I'm gonna tell you a story, and this is the one thing. And LA is a beautiful place to be if you're trying to build a business, but it can be the worst place to be if you have a strong conservative mindset. You heard? But what I'm saying is this: they don't like to talk about politics. They don't like to talk about religion. They don't like to talk about those things in house. It's against HR rules. But, and this is not a personal attack. It's just a story. What I'm saying is, when it comes to Alphabet Group, and I only call y'all Alphabet Group because you forever add in a letter, and I can't keep up. But what I'm saying is this: when you threaten my job because I tell you how I feel about a particular subject and it doesn't follow the suit of everybody else in that job and you threaten my job, I got a problem. I got a problem. And this specific, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. Don't come for my pitchforks, don't come for my DMs. And if you feel some type of way, swallow it and keep it to yourself. What I'm saying is this. This was right around the time that Caitlyn Jenner or Steve or whatever his name was, Bruce Jenner, came out and was like, I am who I am. Look, you are who you are, but you didn't need to be glorified. You ain't need to be put on a Wheaties box. You ain't need to be all of that. You came out, that's your prerogative. Mm-hmm. So when all that was on the news, somebody came out and wanted to ask me, don't ask me. You're going to be disappointed in what the answer I give you. So if you know me and you watching me this and you fishing for a particular answer, don't ask me because it may not come out the way you think it's going to come out. But what I'm saying is a coworker asked me a question. I gave him my opinion. And you know what? I got pulled into HR. Well, this is not the kind of environment that we want to go ahead and have these conversations. I didn't ask the conversation. I didn't care about the conversation.
Do you share that opinion with us? Or the question that was asked, or no?
What are my thoughts about the ESPY award that Caitlyn Jenner won?
Okay.
I was upset because, A, they didn't win it for anything sports related.
Sports? Yeah.
They won it because they were a former athlete who hadn't run a single race in over 2-3 decades. But then you want to invite them because the bravery of coming out and being who they are. And again, I don't care what that man wanted, or what that female, for all of us PC people out there, came out and did. My problem is if I feel some type of way and they ask me a question, I shouldn't be punished for giving my opinion. And my opinion was, I don't care what that man does. And the person had the right to tell me, hell yeah, I said it. What you mean? Last week before it came out, wasn't it a man? Was he not Bruce Jenner? Next week, he want to come out and say, I'm Caitlyn Jenner? But you want me to transition the same way how quick they transitioned? This ain't an overnight thing. Look, everybody on this show know I'm a conservative individual. Yes, I have conservative values. Do I look at the way things are when it comes to those type of topics? Look, it don't keep me up at night. I'm not going to be in the streets hollering, hooting, nanning, raising my blood temperature. Raising my heart rate as well as my blood. I got blood pressure problems. So I ain't going to be out on the street screaming, oh, justice for them all, justice for Alphabet Group. No, you ain't going to find me out there. But what I will say is this. If that's what you want to label yourself as, that's what you want to label yourself as. Just don't come to me and try to make me conform to you. That's all I'm asking. If you ask me a question about how I feel, you can't be upset about how I feel because I'm not upset about the way you feel. That's my selfishness. Do I have empathy for you in the things that you may come up in the future? It depends on what it is. But I'm going to live my everyday life because I'm in my skin, not yours. That's all I'm saying. So for the person, and let me get back to the topic. I'm sorry. I done hijack this. But what I'm saying is the balance of empathy and selfishness. We are now more empathetic more than ever. Even though we don't want to be empathetic, we need to get back to the selfishness. We sometimes turn a blind eye because it's the PC. I didn't know what the hell PC was growing up. It was a word that they just decided to create, 10 years ago? Let's be politically correct.
Oh, no.
No. We need to go back, and I'm not saying we bullying people, but if somebody asks me how, or somebody asks you how you feel about a particular subject, this aside, as far as what I was just discussing, if they ask you a particular question, are you going to side with empathy or truly tell them how you truly feel? And I think that's where the balance in this world has come to. And that's why we're so emotionally fragile, because everybody is on the empathy side. So when you say one thing, and it happened to you last episode, 2 episodes ago, Jordan, when they brought the pitchforks for your ass on Twitter, everybody was emotionally fragile. I'm going to fight for the person that's not in the room. Well, I don't give a damn about the person that's not in the room. I'm talking about you. So if you want to be empathetic to the other individual because that's the way you is, all right, if it pays your bills. But if it don't pay your bills, what you give a goddamn about? That's my opinion.
Wow. I mean, looking at and just going off your story, it's interesting, man. I think that they don't, if someone asks you a question like that and it puts your job at jeopardy, conservative or not, that's wrong. Like, that's not right of them to put your job at jeopardy for you answering an opinion or answering a question truthfully. Now,
and hold on,
granted, that's like,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna hijack this one more time. I apologize.
You're good.
What made it the next thing over 2 weeks later, you know what they fuck around and did? When Donald Trump got presidency, we supposed to keep politics out of the office. Why did they turn around and go ahead and have a kumbaya moment in the town hall area to talk about Donald Trump becoming president? People crying because it's the end of the world, and we over here expressing our feelings, and no one asked anybody in the office their political affiliation. That's my problem. I told you it wasn't just about Alphabet Group. That's my problem. We've become so emotionally fragile that you forget that there was 2 parties that were basically being voted for, but you didn't ask how many people wanted. It was just on our schedule. So if I didn't show up, I would be the castrated because I felt the way that I felt.
Sounds like an HR conundrum, if you ask me.
Well, HR was blue. What was I supposed to do? Not get paid because I was red?
I mean, I guess. I think that a lot of times what in this industry, this world, this society that we live in, it's always a problem for other things until it's actually a problem for you. And it's like you're allowed to have your opinion as long as your opinion agrees with theirs. And it's like I don't think that's really fair. I think that the best part about life is we have different opinions. Like you and I see a lot of eye to eye, then there's a lot that we are like, no, that's you over there. And I'm gonna be on this shade of black and I'm gonna keep it over here. And that's the way it should be, because here's the thing, because there's times where you and I've had conversations and we'll look on this, and even in this show, we're like, okay, didn't think of it that way. Because we're open. And I think that's one of the reasons why we got this show started. Is because you and I would sit on the phone and chat about like work. And start talking about something from east field, left field, blue field, green field, blue field, whatever. And legit, sometimes we'll like get into it. At the same time, we gave each other the value and respect of one another's ear and opinion to come to an understanding. We may not agree. We may not align. We're like, okay, I see what you're saying, X. I see what you're saying, J. That makes a lot of sense. I think what things is now, like you said, when they try to come at me, when I was on X or Twitter, people don't like being. A lot of people in that industry don't like being told what to do from the opposite sex, and they think that's what it is. When I'm not really, it's really just satire. Anyone that knows me knows the type of person I am. I may be considered more a feminist than anything. But people wouldn't know that when they just assume things off of one tweet
A
of
feminist.
sarcasm.
I'm sorry to hear
I mean,
that.
dude, I took a women in media's class in school, man, and I support women in power. I
Did they have
support.
a stove in there?
I hope you burn in hell.
Well,
But you know, it didn't.
women's in
It was
media.
actually, yeah, it was actually pretty cool. But anyway, I think that so many people are just nowadays, because it's like they're so, like I said before, they're so, if it's not aligned with what we're doing, you're automatically wrong. And the moment I disagree with you, I'm already attacking you, and it's not that. And I always realize, and I think you and I touched on this before, and we can move on after that if you'd like. Um, when someone's arguing with you and they have to curse and call you names and belittle you, they've already lost. And the moment that happens, it's like that means that person has nothing else to do but to attack you, because they don't have the ability to really articulate words that can make a valid point on what they believe in. So people will, as they did with me, try to put me down, call me names, call me all types of, like, I make a joke and then I have a trans person calling me retarded using the R word. And then it's like, we don't hear that person, but
Wait, how
this
you
here
say they
people.
calling you retarded and they turn around and say they calling me the R word?
No, I was saying they wanted to call me the R word. It was a
But you
joke.
just said the R word.
No, I know. It was a joke, Dex. Like, that's what
I'm
you
just
said.
kidding.
It was a joke. So it's like, but that was my point. It's like, how you call me a name, but if we look at it, I just seen someone get upset that they put in quotations the R word. But this person called me retarded after I make a post where it's like, anyone that knows me, I'm genuinely joking. I had a creator message me, like, one day we're talking about people to work with, and she's like, Jay, she's like, one of your scenes, like, did you really like think that? I was like, that's just who I am. I'm a jokester. I like to have fun. I like to have a good time. Now I can be serious, but then it's like I made a joke about a scene that I shot, and I was like, I was shooting a scene with a woman from London. And I was like, man, your English is so well. It's like, how do you learn? Like, how are you so good at it?
Yeah,
And she,
everyone. He's a sports reporter. Continue.
so yes, as my sports reporting, when I'm going into the interview, I'm like, you're from London. Like, why is your English so well? So how? But people, and she was like, you're serious, right? Like, you're joking. I was like, yeah, that's literally a joke. It was all satire. But people take things on the internet so serious. It's so, like, they harp on one word and harp on one disagreement or one different view, and they're automatically, that person's wrong, that person's bad. Like, I don't think people that are Republicans are racist. That's like the stereotype, as one side may put it.
So does that mean I don't like black people?
Yeah, because if you're a Republican, that's what they would say. But I do believe that when there's people having differences of opinion, I think that people don't give the benefit of the doubt of the other side, no matter what. And I can go on to what the stereotypes may be on the other side. At the end of the day, people create these narratives or something, just and they
And they
just
run
believe
with
them
it.
and they run with it. And I think that when people start running with these things, they don't have anything else to back it. They're just automatically, it's either this or that. It's either you're this way or that way. Now,
I agree.
I think that we can come together, and I think, as I stated earlier, you and I, we had these chats and create and talk and speak things into existence. And this show is a prime example. Like, you and I, whenever we talk, bro, we make shit happen. We
But
don't
you know
waste
why
time.
it is though? It's because we don't sugarcoat it. We say it like it is without the cream filling. In today's society, and I'm gonna put it one little touch here. Back in the day, we used to sugarcoat a lot of things, and we used to call it giving it some fluff. We fluffed a lot of it, beating around the bush. Why?
That is
Because we were
definitely a
afraid of
phrase.
how most people was going to react to when we tell them straightforward. A lot of people couldn't handle it coming out straightforward. So
Nope.
we sugarcoated it. And you know what
Nope.
happens when you sugarcoat something? It takes away the actual meaning of what you're trying to say. And so
That's true.
because we sugarcoated it, it allowed the person, how can I say it, a little bit of sugar to digest what you're saying. And because it's taking that sugar to digest what you're saying, all they're really tasting when you're giving them that truth is the sweet. So now everything that we deliver, it has to have a sweet. So now we fast forward to 2024, there's no more truth to it. It's just sugar.
A lot of people just sweet.
Sugar in their tank.
Yeah. And well, wait a minute.
Nah, just kidding with you, kind of. But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. Codependence and sugarcoating. A lot of these individuals are codependent on other individuals because we've touched on it, the negativity in life. They use this as a way of fueling their life. This is the entertainment of life. I've got my pitchfork, even though I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. It gives my life value because now I can stand up for another person who's in need or who's not being looked at equally. Codependent, because a lot of these motherfuckers out here don't have their own life. So therefore, because they don't have their own life, that's why they're codependent on other people's trauma. You got trauma chasers. And what I mean by trauma chasers, because they got nothing going on in their own life, that is one of the main reasons why the woke people will latch on to something that they think is a cause where they can help, like we said, mama syndrome, where they think they can fix or be an asset to a community. And then, I'm going to go ahead and take the baton, or I'm going to have the pitchfork and join you in this fight. So to me, that's where a lot of that emotional fragile comes from, because we keep babying the hell out of everybody, and we keep babying the hell out of everybody what they want. That instant gratification that's going to make them feel good. Life ain't supposed to be good. Life is tough.
Feel good.
So this brings me to our next and final topic. We're only doing 2 today, but what I mean by this is that why is it so hard to build your self-esteem in today's day and age when we codependent on so many different people?
I mean, dude, I think you kind of answered it honestly, like within the question. Like if we really look at it, I think, and it's hard because how do I want to start this? Without copying what you just said. It's hard because when we look at
how I'm great at what I do.
It's hard because of what we don't have any longer. We don't have character being built. And if you look at it this day and age, we are built by the electronics. We are built by social media. We are built by things that are not real. So we are built by people that will never see as goals, as someone to strive by. Like nowadays, kids just get on TikTok and, I like that streamer. That's who I want to be. And they're basically just going around and asking people questions on the street or something, and that's something they strive to be. Or like instead of someone, a historical figure that may try to stop cancer or stop AIDS or something of that nature, they'd rather watch someone that's streaming like video games. They don't want to be accurate. They don't want to follow a doctor. They don't want to have that. They don't have
so
the
their
same.
role
Now, maybe
models
sports,
are bitch made. Gotcha.
Yeah. In a sense, yeah. The models are bitch made because we're sitting here and no one's outside. I remember I was in college, and I want to say I was going to school to be a teacher at this time. And I was like, this would be something I want to do. I switched my major.
Oh,
I
good.
switched my
Fuck
major.
them kids.
And here's the thing, my cousin, my younger cousin was still in high school. I went to go to my school and get my credits, right? And nobody in the gym class was taking gym. For them to earn credits, if they didn't want to participate in like dodgeball or kickball or football, All they had to do was just walk around the gym. They walked around the gym to get in their credit. Whenever we went, you would got the best guys skipping class to come in our gym class so they could see who's better at whatever sport. They'd be like, "Yo, Jordan's class is at third period, and he might be one of the dudes on the hoop squad, and one of the football players are gonna come in and show off and see if he's better than me in football and basketball than a hoop. Then the other way around, we'll try to see if we can, go all, even if we're playing inside football. Like when we grow up, like I'm a moss you. So I would try to moss the receivers in on that year because I wasn't playing football. Like, all right, I can jump higher than you.
That
I'm
was
gonna
the
go up
same.
there for that.
That was the same.
You know what I mean? So we had that. You got to get that dog in you. That's what it is, right? And a lot of people don't got that dog. They just got a bark. And nowadays,
But
so many people put so many things online, and they don't have time to actually build themselves. Now, shout out to the people that work on their craft that are still in sports and still doing things now, growing up and still building their character because they're putting social media down to go and work on their craft. You work on your craft of building yourself up, but if you're busy um, involved in social media and just electronics your whole time, you're never built oneself. Like nowadays, like I have a little cousin, he's like 6 and he likes sports, but half the time he's in a tablet. And it's like bro, we gotta take that tablet from him. Because all he's learning is what these streamers are doing. These streamers aren't teaching them how to be a person. They're already kind of in the sense most of the time, most streamers, and granted, we're streaming and stuff now, but most of these streamers are already
make
self-made.
sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all comment, and yeah, go ahead and like this video. Appreciate it.
Plug. A lot of these people they're already seeing the finished product or seeing the product already like about to take off. A lot of our artists, like you don't put out music unless you're stupid. You don't put out your first song you create unless it's literally just a bop, like off the bat, unless you're just
Or you
like that.
just
And that's
got
one of,
connections like that.
if you do. But the thing is, you're still building yourself. You're like, yo, why did I put that shit out? Why did I do that? Like, you don't put out some trash unless you're so unaware that you're not trash. And a lot of people don't realize that they are not a finished product or they're not working on themselves yet. And they think that I'm just going to be me
That's definitely
and no one
today's
can.
rap music.
It is so
They need
garbage.
to
I
they
hate
need to
it.
go back to the lab.
There's no metaphors. There's no similes. There's no nothing. There's no stories. There's only a select few artists that are doing it, but most of these new cats are just trash. Like they're so
Mumble rap.
garbage to me. The mumble rap is horrible, and it's like they ain't even saying nothing. And it's like here's the thing: as artists, they're not even making music. Like all you got, like they don't even know how to play an instrument. At least learn how to play like a keyboard. How to play a flute. Like shit. Like dog, I had it from the last. At least I got an ocarina for my video game. Like dog, like come on. Like you ain't playing.
I
No
ain't
one's
gonna
learning
lie.
how to
When
do
you blew into
anything.
that earlier, I thought that was the bottom, the golf head of a driver. I thought that was like the golf head of a driver that you was just made into a little
No,
toy.
no, it's an ocarina. Like
Or Karina looked like a diagram of a stomach.
you're so silly. You're so silly. But the thing
Is that
is,
how
and
you
I'll
get
end it
close to
with
your
this.
African people?
That was actually from Zelda, and that's not funny. Now I'm emotionally fragile. Now you hurt my feelings. You're talking about my
Probably.
ancestors like that.
Zelda's
But
your ancestors?
yeah, legit. And I'm the sixth sage. Like you're not ready for that because
No, what?
you just got that.
Wait. Hold on. How in the world you over here yelling at these kids talk about being on their tablets and you over here talking about you Zelda 6 days? Back when Zelda was being played, I barely played Zelda. I was too busy outside having an imaginary goddamn force field and all of that with one stick. My mama ain't allowed me to be in the house. But here's what I'm gonna say on the 2 cent that you said. We are in a new day and age. And just like every generation, the last generation fucked it up. That's what we all say. Because Gen X was like, oh, the millennials are fucking it up. We was hard workers. Now they lazy. Now us being millennials, we look at Gen Z and we over here like, y'all dumb lazy. So like, well, where we at? But what I'm saying is for the self-esteem part of it, yes, a lot of it does fall in the hands of the social media influencers. But a lot of those influencers are still screaming, yo, I am not a role model. Don't take me as a role model. Who was that? There was a sports athlete that kept getting in trouble. I don't know if it was Pac-Man Jones or one of those that kept getting in trouble. And they're like, don't you feel like you're setting a bad example for the kids? Oh, it was Charles Barkley. He's like, I don't expect them to look at me as a role model. I am human. And if you're expecting me to be their role model, you fucked up as a parent.
That's true.
So
that's true.
A couple of things that I look at with the self-esteem kind of thing and why it's so hard to build self-esteem in today's day and age. The instant gratification. And I feel like I say this every single episode, like it's a ringing thing. That's my favorite word nowadays. But instant gratification takes away from the hard work journey that builds character when you're automatically getting a lot of these things. This ain't video games where you can put together a cheat code and all of a sudden you got everything you need. If that was the case, we'd all be goddamn rich. But we're not. So when we're looking at it as far as instant gratification, it's even procrastination if you think about it. How many times that we go out and I'm a main one. Do you understand why I'm not chiseled out and great? It's procrastination. Every day I do 20 push-ups and I'm like, I did enough today to justify that I'm working towards my overall goal of losing weight. But did I really do enough? Nah, not really. But I satisfied myself enough to push myself to say, I'm still working towards it. And as long as we continue to make that excuse that I'm still working towards it excuse, like I'm doing little bit by little, this is the journey, but are we really doing enough to get there? You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The other thing that I was learning in psychology class told me a lot of things, and my couch is always open for those who teacher. Yes, whoever want to learn a little bit more. It's called
from you?
esteemable actions.
Okay.
So
teach, coach.
Esteemable actions is, think about it like the self-help books. We go out, learn about self-help books. We go and listen to podcasts. We go to seminars. We do all of these esteemable things to say or justify that I'm trying to build up my self-esteem. But what it really is another excuse that I'm learning to do these things, but I'm not yet applying them. So think about it. It's like school. We go to school to learn a bunch of things, but that don't ever mean that we're going to apply the things we learn in school.
Like cursive or algebra.
Exactly. We learned it in school, but are we doing algebra in today unless it's specified in a mechanical engineering? Cursive, it's already dead. Unless you plan on being in calligraphy, I don't think you're learning circles. I don't think you're learning cursive anymore.
You're right. You're right the first time.
Circles. But another thing that I look at it as like self-esteem is what I tried to do when I was younger. They tried to teach us to be better characters when we were in high school and when we were in college. And that's why a lot of college says community service, active service without anything being returned. It builds character. It builds self-esteem. So, what you eating over there? Some rice and chicken? But back to the self-esteem thing. So what I'm saying is this. When we look at the acts of service, think about this. How many people saying the selfishness, the lack of selfishness is what builds our self-esteem? do something for somebody else, right? If you go out, you do something nice for somebody, and you're not expecting anything in return, it makes yourself feel better about yourself. Have you heard that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many people then now goes out? Think of back to the social media thing. How many videos do we see of individuals doing service acts for the homeless to make themselves seem like they're doing justified work, but they're gaining something in the end? The views, the clicks, all of this.
Yep.
So is it really self-esteem service if you're still getting something in return? Or these individuals that set up a whole tripod and a phone and they go crying, oh wait, the camera caught me in a emotional state. Let me go ahead and cry. Set up the stand, put up the phone, and
cry.
But they wonder why it's so difficult to get self-esteem. Everything now is a cause and reaction, right? The cause is to build self-esteem. The reaction in its point is not always 100% genuine. We look at social media, those people aren't teaching us anything. They're getting paid to be off the chain. And they're the ones guiding our youth to go out and do stupid shit and having to one up. Now you got people over here doing pranks and everything. I wish a mother sucker would try to do a prank. You're going to be sucking on the end of this pistol.
Hey, real quick, you see that prank when dude took the bodybuilder's hat?
And he slapped the shit out of him?
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was Ronaldo. He's a little streamer. Yeah, I know. I saw it. But what I'm saying is this. There's a lot of things that are out there. Every jibber jab. You got TikToks that are AI creating for self-esteem that's pushing out false narratives that you go out this and you'll be a better person. But it's for clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's level of self-esteem that if you go out and do so, it has to come in a genuine form. And being genuine is not something it's not a flower that grows in everybody's garden.
No. So you're saying people are just sometimes self-made fake?
Absolutely.
Just born fake as hell.
Social media, it's like, I'm guilty of it sometimes where I want to play keeping with the Joneses. Where, hell, there are some situations where people believe I got the largest self-esteem, that I'm a confident Negro. But you know what? There are some things that I'm not very confident about. I may say that I'm confident about it. I may not let the words get to me, but does it make me sleep less at night? A little bit, depending on the topic. But everybody has insecurities. But I'm not going to go down. That's a whole nother episode talking about men's insecurities. But what we're looking at is this. When we're looking at the instant gratification, the genuine parts of individuals, it all circles back around to the emotional fragile of individuals. Because being genuine and trying to find the genuineness in people, everybody's trying to act like the next man. No one's really their genuine self. Dude, so that's my 2 cents.
We put on such a facade. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go ahead, cut me off.
I think that the facade that we put out here, man, is so unfortunate. Like, we are building up value off of popularity and likes and retweets and shares compared to building up being a good individual. Like, it's one of those things where, going back to what I was saying, is people are so caught up with everything else around them or seeing what the other person's doing, excuse me. And like you stated, keeping up the Joneses, they forget about their own self. I think we all get caught up into it, because if I see somebody that maybe I know that I had more followers than, and now they pass me, I'm like, why? What are they doing? And why am I not doing it? But then it's like, then I gotta remember, I gotta continue to be me. Some people may sell their soul. Some people may do whatever they need to do and may not stand on business. Me personally, I like to get my stuff out the mud. Whenever I was younger, Whenever I would play basketball with my friends, I would make sure my team was kind of trash most of the time. So I can beat everyone else just to show that I'm better.
But
Like to
did that
show that
make you
adversity.
better?
I love adversity. It did make me better because I had to learn how to put the ball in certain situations, being able to know when it's time to take over, when it's not to take over, when I need to shoot. And then it's like, all right, what am I doing to better myself? Okay, it's a team sport, so you gotta trust them. Which one of these guys is good at X, Y, Z? All right, that guy is a brawler. Need to get him down there crashing the board. So just in case I miss, all right, that guy is a distributor. I know if I can get open, I'll tell him, hey, here's the ball. Hit me in that spot. This guy's a shooter. So I'm learning these things. And these people may not be good as the other team, but if I can work and get the best out of them, that's me building it. And I would build that adversity. And it's just
Sounds like
like,
leadership skills to me.
it is leadership skills. And I definitely look at myself as a leader. I've been a leader in multiple avenues of my life. And the thing is, overall, and my most fun way to put this, and I may hurt some people's feelings. We live in a society now where the people that are growing up, and that are people that are becoming influencers, or the people that got participation trophies in football growing up, they are happy about them. Compared to the kids like myself, that I don't want no stupid ass trophy. I didn't win anything. Get this shit out of here. Like, I don't want a trophy for just showing up. And that
Facts.
is the level that we live in. That's the type of time we live in.
Everybody
People feel they're
wins.
entitled just because they put their name on a sign up sheet. It don't work like that.
And you know, the
So
one thing that really irritates me that we don't look
what's
into,
that, X?
it's one word that really solves it all when it comes to self-esteem. And it starts with an S and it has a W in it. 2 words, SW.
You said one word.
I know. I just said 2 words now.
I'll just tell us. We're going to leave
Self-worth.
another cliffhanger. Self-worth.
Self-worth.
Self-worth. Self-esteem.
Self-worth and self-esteem is go hand in hand. If you don't have self-worth, how do you have self-esteem? In order to have a self-esteem, you have to understand your self-worth. And in today's day and age with participation trophies, everybody wins. How do you really know what you're worth if there's no more competition between individuals?
There's not.
You can't win everything in life. And if you can, put it in the comments. I want to know what you win, everybody wins in life. Because it costs money to breathe oxygen nowadays. So the point of the matter is, like Jordan said, there are some dogs out there, but not everybody can be the dog. Excuse me. And just like life, you got leaders and you got followers, but you got to know your self-worth.
At the end of the day,
in today's society, self-worth is at an all-time low. And because it's at an all-time low, that is why everybody's emotionally fragile. Because they don't, I'm going to say it this way, because they don't know who they are.
Okay. I know we want to wrap this up here.
No.
Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
So the thing is, what I notice a lot of people do on these shows, these podcasts like ourselves, is talk a bunch of shit. Always talk about things negatively, sometimes positively. But my question to you is, what is a solution? What is a way that we can make people have more self-worth and self-esteem? How do we build that up? Because here's the thing, you and I could talk about this, but we don't. A lot of times people talk, and I want us to be different. My question to you is, how do we build that up, especially as not even as a brother, but as a man, as a humanity? I want you to tell me and tell the world, how do we build self-esteem up? And anyone listening and watching it, please put in the comments, how do we How do we bring up self-worth? Because I think we as society can be so much better, and I want to hear it. What you got, Ed?
Self-worth is something that you need to find deep down inside of you. It is not something that you can read in a book. It is not something that you can go purchase at a store. It's not something that is you're born with. Self-worth is something that you have to work on and finding, because not everybody's self-worth is going to be the same. It's very subjective to each individual. Now, when it comes to building self-esteem or self-worth, you need to understand what's important to you, what makes you happy, and stand on business. Because what happens in today's society is this. We find what happens, what we find what makes us happy. And the first sign of somebody who's not happy with the way that makes us happy, we compromise. And when we compromise, that tears away the foundation of your self-worth. Now, that's not a cut. That's not, I almost said peanut butter jelly. That's not black and white in every single scenario. But the one thing that I need you to understand is this. Not anybody is going to put self-worth into you. Just like before we've discussed in previous episodes. No other person can make you happy. Only you can make yourself happy by finding what makes you happy. If that means you need to go out and try 1,000 different things to find out what makes you get up and have joy in your life, that's what you need to go find. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to find it on the internet. Through somebody else. Let me be correct. Through somebody else. They may be entertaining for that hour of their clip, but then we got to get back to reality. Because as soon as you turn off that computer and you turn around and stand up from your desk, we back in reality. So you need to be able to find what's important to you, what really will motivate you to get out of bed in the morning. And that's how you find self-worth, by transferring that and building something of that magnitude up. If you can find something to build, it will provide self-worth, especially as a man. As a man, we are builders. I'll be honest with you. There's some days I question my manhood. Not that I'm gay or anything of that sort, pause. But what I mean by this, old day society, old day society used to dictate that a man is a person who, a true man works with its hands. His true man is able to build. I could build, I choose not to build. I do manicures and pedicures. You ain't gonna find calluses on my hands. I still got the little baby fats on the edge of my fingers. You remember the little baby fatty pads that you have on the on your fingers? You don't see, I still got the little fat pads on my hands. That means I'm not man of labor. But I will say this. I could build a business. I could build a multitude of things. It just doesn't mean I have to build it with my hands. So what I'm saying to you, if you out here looking at me and you are questioning your self-worth or your self-esteem, find something that you can believe in that you don't expect anything back. Whether it's act of service in the community where you don't give a damn if they say thank you, but you felt good because you helped the next man. Paying it forward. Building something that you can say, this is mine and no man can take it. That is how I believe you can build self-worth. And that, my friend, is how I believe you can build self-esteem. It ain't no books, because the books is coming from another man's self-esteem, not your own.
Ooh. Wow. Preach, brother.
What about your self-esteem, sir? How do you think there's a solution to this? Besides eating chicken and rice?
And drinking OJ. So first and foremost, I hope everyone's definitely providing some insight and some suggestions, because I think we should all uplift each other. Number two, thank you for sharing that, because I think some people really do need to hear that. I think for me is the first thing you need to do is hold yourself accountable. Looking yourself in your mirror. True. Can you sit there and be like, did I give it my all? Do I have this self-worth? Am I giving myself a shortcut? Am I cheating myself? Because if you don't do anything to make yourself better, if you're not trying, because I think we've all gotten away with certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've all gotten away with certain things, especially people that may have been good looking, athletic, uh, born in the right family. They all have had these things, so they have like, well, I don't have to do too much. I'm cute, or my daddy is Paris. My daddy is
Your
Donald
cooking's
Trump.
slowing down. I need you to speed up the cooking, or we ain't gonna
Wait a
get.
minute, wait a minute. I got you. These people don't ever have to do anything. So nowadays, we see these people out here online, and we're not actually doing what they need to do. We're not doing the same thing. We're seeing, well, they're already self-made. They're already there. What are we going to do? Why can't we be the next person that do it? Why can't we be it? So it's like, how do you hold yourself accountable? How do you make yourself better? Look at something and challenge yourself. And I'm gonna say this because I like being open and honest. When I was talking to X offline, I was like, yo, I want to learn some different languages. I want to be better. He's really worldly. He can teach me some things, and I'm asking him for advice. For me, as a person with self-worth, is being able to understand that there's somebody that can teach me something. There's something I can learn to utilize as a person that, all right, what am I valuable at? Well, I know I'm a good American citizen. How do I become somebody that can be versed in, like, indulge in this culture that I want to learn or do something, because I can't go to another country and just do stuff. I gotta figure it out. I want to be there. So I gotta look at myself as, how do I provide value? One thing you did say, excuse me, was I can build things. I don't have to build things with my hands. That's the best part of society, is you don't have to be building things the way that person does. What the next man does or the other man doesn't really, dictate what you do as a man or as a woman. So I think when we're trying to build self-worth and self-esteem, be the best you. And I think being the best you is really just looking in the mirror like, all right, might be 5'5", and this is all I got, this person right here, but how does this 5'5" man or woman become, I'm not 5'5", guys, by the way, but how does this person become a better me? What can I do that I didn't do yesterday? You don't have to be great at something. That I'm never going to be like X. X is never going to be like me. That doesn't mean that we can't become better by learning and adapting and being able to provide the self-worth and bringing worth to others. And I think at the end of the day, man, when we do this stuff, when we actually really, really look at this ourselves and be able to identify our, I'm not going to say weaknesses, but we'll use the word opportunity. What are our opportunities that we can have to be a better person and stop looking at things negatively? We can always try to turn a negative into a positive. That's how you build your self-worth.
Now, I know people like to say, look at the glass half full. Now, I'm a firm believer you still need to also be in reality. Sometimes that's some bitch empty. Okay. So, so sometimes all you got is backwash in that glass. But
look, I'll put it like this. X,
this.
I know damn well I ain't going to the NBA, but you know what?
That don't mean I
My
can't be in the
self-worth,
NBA.
exactly. That doesn't mean my self-worth isn't helping someone else get to the NBA. Isn't my self-worth or learning how to coach in the NBA? That doesn't mean I will never probably ever play a quarter. But my self-worth, I can figure out how to get in there. I could try.
Yes. And at the end
There's
of the
always
day,
ways.
I say this, and I'll bid y'all adieu from here. Just build your legacy. At the end of the day, build you a legacy. If you can build yourself a legacy, no man can touch your worth. Or female, depending on what you're looking at.
You
Either
can be your
way,
best you. You can be your best you. There can't be no one a better you than you.
big
Remember that.
facts. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you joining us for 2 Shades of Black. It's your cowboy man, Xavier. He ain't coming back.
It's your boy
but
Jordan.
yeah, that's Jordan. And we'll catch you next time. Adios.